Right, so our legal basis for our discussion is DepEd Order 24 Series of 2025. But please take note that we will cross-reference this to the current changes and clarifications provided under DepEd 34 Series of 2025. Meron pong mga clarifications because when this went out, there were a lot of reactions as to the expanded career progression, and there were a lot of questions. And I'm sure if you are a head teacher also, those who could be displaced because of the expanded career progression system for teachers, you might be worried now, no? Perhaps worried because we don't know what will be our future, no? Considering there will be no head teachers anymore, there will be no special yung mga special science teachers, wala na yan. They will be retitled to either teacher, or you can also be a priority for school administration track. So we will discuss that as we go through. But let's first understand the basic concept of expanded career progression. Okay, so basically our goal is for us to be oriented, and then we'll have a uniform understanding. But even until now, it still amuses me how a lot of teachers still don't understand, and even us, no, there's still confusion because basically itong expanded career progression is really quite new. No, quite new, but if you look at the universities, they had been implementing this. The idea is you can reclassify your item. Usually our term for this is reclassification, but here we call it with a different term. No, we can be promoted using the expanded career progression, and it will become the new way to promote yourself. Okay, just to give you an idea, diba? If you were a lot of our colleagues, even retired teacher 1, no, before, because there are only a few opportunities when you look at the career track of teachers. In order for you to really progress in your career, dapat maging principal ka, you have to shift in another career line. So basically, this one, hindi na kailangan, we don't have to wait for vacancy anymore. The idea is that we can just vice or reclassify our own item, and that is using the expanded career progression system. In a third objective natin is for us to have dialogue and clarification of the policy, because this has been disseminated by the central office, and a lot of questions were actually asked. So just for us to understand the context, the expanded career progression is not a localized or just within the scope of DepEd. It actually started with an executive order number 174 series of 2022. But remember, before executive order 174, this is actually a law. There has been a statute issued, and then there was an executive order number issued, and then we have DBM circular number 1, which changed the position classification and compensation scheme system. So for us to understand that is actually how we staff our personnel. For instance, before, if you remember, may mga limitation as to the number of master teachers. Dapat on the same subject, yung ratio 1:7, I think, di ba? We have to have teachers under you, and then it should not go beyond 10% of the number of teachers in the division office. Okay, so these limitations is the reason why hindi tayo makapapromote ng mga master teachers, because the requirement of the ratio or the staffing standards is very hard. It's very hard to meet. Imagine, dapat meron kang teachers teaching the same subject lang talaga, having the same major, at least 7 of them, so that will entitle you to 1 master teacher item. So that is very hard to meet kasi for small schools, there is less chance na merong ganun na situation. So it's only favorable to a large school kung saan maraming teachers having the same major. How would you reach 7, diba? Or 8? Mahirap yan, diba? Ngayon, there has been changes, and you can see that DBM DepEd Joint Circular 1. For instance, yung principal item natin, if you try to check, the number of principals in our division were only 15. 15 items only, including the assistant principal too. But in reality, there are 51 schools. So, do you think that is a reasonable staffing pattern? Honestly, it's not, no? So, the DBM DepEd Joint Circular number 1 entitles, basta meron kang unique school ID, you are entitled to an item na principal 1. Okay? Regardless of how many learners you have. So actually this is good news for me. This is good news because there is an entitlement in the staffing pattern of one principal item already. So this is the time for you to pass the principal's test. This is do or die, no? This is a great opportunity for all of us to really pass the principal's test because finally hindi natin kailangan na may mag-retire for us to get an item. Meron na tayong item talaga per unique school ID. You are entitled of principal 1 item. So, the opportunity goes to the person who will be able to pass the exam. Pero here's the limitation lang ha, just to share to you. The reality is, the national budget is always based on the General Appropriations Act. So, ideally, short pa rin tayo, no? Okay. If you try to analyze yung funds ng Pilipinas, we are even borrowing money from the World Bank just to meet the government operations. And as we all know, in the previous GAA, wala pang budget for expand. Although it was given budget, no, pero it's very limited. So basically, and hopefully, there was a promise na yung GAA natin ngayon will prioritize the expanded career progression. So hopefully, let's pray na this will be given budget talaga. My prediction is slowly we will arrive to that, but yung items talaga mahirap lang talaga because items is a matter of legislation. Let's remember that. Hindi po yan kapangyarihan ng division office na magbigay ng item. Kami sa division office, we are only given an item. The word item alone means it is an appropriation in the General Appropriations Act allocating money for a particular position para sa salary niya. So, because wala pong pera na ibibigay as salary if it's not reflected in the General Appropriations Act. And the good news is, in DepEd Joint Circular 1, makikita natin doon na as long as you have a unique school ID, you are entitled already to one principal item. Kung ano yung mga minimum requirements of getting the principal item, start meeting it na. I don't know if this is good news or bad news, pero if you will look at the DepEd Order 19 series of 2025, this is also the minimum qualification standard. So I may be allowed to. So here we can see, so i-search nyo lang DO19 series of 2025. So this is also just looking at your career ba. You need to pass the principal's test. Yes, that's correct. But remember, you also need to meet the minimum qualifications of a principal. If you try to look at it, yung principal test po ay isa lang sa mga requirements. The multiple requirements for you to become a principal. So if you look at DO19, nandito na po nakakompile lahat. So before you help your teachers, do not forget you help yourself first. It's hard to so imagine, I know you have experience riding a plane. So if you're riding a plane, the first instruction of the flight attendant is always to tell you, in case of emergency and if there is lack of oxygen in the cabin, there will be oxygen mask released in front of you, diba? Sasabihin ng flight attendant yan. So if you are with an infant, please put it first into yourself before giving it to the infant. Kasi a lot of times, they have observed, according to historical records, if you place that first with your infant, marami pong nahihimatay. Some of them will faint first before even placing it to the infant. So you have to help yourself first. So I'm sure you are here because you are interested in getting the principal position. So you try to analyze this first. Okay? It says here, DO19, Master's Degree in Education or Educational Management or Educational Leadership. Sabi dito or ha. So if you're not having a Master's Degree in Education, pero meron kayong Educational Management, Educational Leadership, or meron kayong Master's Degree in relevant learning area, whether math, science, whatever it is, or dapat meron lang at least 9 units of management. Kasi, for example, you are masters in science, tapos meron kang 9 units. In Cebu Normal University, 9 units na yan, it's only 1 semester, half of the year. So, you can already get this 9 units in 1 semester. Having, let's say, for example, major ka, masters in science. So, all of this, but if you're already master's degree in education, then wala ka ng problema, di ba? Kasi this one, master's degree in relevant learning area, that's where the least, at least 9 units in management will come in. So target this one, no, trying to meet the education aspect, because even if you pass the principles test, kapag hindi kayo tapos sa inyong master's degree, mahirapan po tayo ha. Yung minimum qualification standards dapat i-meet natin. Kailangan din natin ng 5 years teaching experience and 1 year relevant experience of any of the following. So naging learning area coordination ba kayo? Yung subject area supervision, let's say for example you are part of the school management and operations and instructional supervision. Take note, dapat and siya, no? So 5 years teaching experience, naka-teach kayo, tapos 1 year relevant experience in any of the following. So if you're a head teacher, of course, no, meet nyo na yung requirements dito. Remember, this is and. So yung dalawa, 5 years saka yung 1 year. Yung training naman, dapat related to, if you attended the NCET, in our division, we really targeted this kasi gusto namin ma-promote yung mga tao. So 32 hours of, how many days is that? You just divide it into 8, no? Because 1 day is usually 8 hours. And of course, you're a teacher. Hindi ka pwedeng maging principal if hindi ka teacher. Alright? So ito, meet lang to. Aside from passing the exam, tapusin niyo yung masteral degree. Tapos, of course, no, most of us, meron na tayong 5 years of teaching or meron din tayong 1 year relevant experience. Kapag nag-TIC tayo, we volunteer on also learning area coordination, subject area coordinator, and supervision. So lahat to, just meet the minimum requirements so that you'll be promoted. And again, we are talking about this. We'll go back to this. But the thing is, it's found in DBM circular, joint circular number 1, the staffing pattern. And of course, the DO24, series of 2025, if you would ask me what is the secret in passing the principles test, isa lang talaga ang secret. Read the DepEd order. All your decisions should be based on DepEd orders. Meron tayong IRR. By the way, pagkatapos to ng Executive Order 174, merong IRR. Tapos, yung DepEd Order 19, we have already presented DO19. Okay, so yun lang yung dapat nating i-master, DO19. So if we will finish this timeline, meron ng DO34 series of 2025, which also amended or relaxed some of the requirements under DO24 series of 2025. Overview of the expanded career progression. Pero as leaders, huwag kayo magpadala sa negativity, no? So you should be the first one to be positive about this. Okay, I'm sure you are here because you want to become a principal. Try to be positive about things. For me, the career progression is really good news because it promotes professional development and career progression sa teachers, define the career lines with the public school system. It applies to all teachers in elementary, secondary, and including senior high school. So take note lang tayo ha. In any professional development and career progression, what is really the basis? It's always merit and fitness. Okay? So, merit and fitness is, honestly, is hard to measure, di ba? Paano mo malalaman if this person has the merit? Karapat-dapat ba siya ma-promote? Or meron ba siyang fitness? So, it's hard to measure. And the reason why we have very objective measures that are presented to us, like for example, yung education mo, although it's not the exact measure of if you will be effective in your work, but it is at least the least biased way. Without any good basis, objective basis, mahirapan tayo. But it's always about merit and fitness. But a lot of the qualms in the field, if you notice it, of course, no, we have to require outstanding performance. Kaya dapat magaling sila mag-demonstrate. Yung COIS at saka yung NCOIS, that is our basis for promoting them. So that is really the situation, no, dapat merit and fitness. So if you look at Executive Order 174 series of 2022, ito na lang, let's focus on the diagram. For me, this is the good news. Kasi if you look at it, to revisit our situation before. Kung teacher ka, you look at this line here, this is the teacher career line. So these are the positions. The green ones, by the way, are recently added using the expanded. Wala ka namang lang teacher 7 before, di ba? Teacher 6, wala yan. Teacher 5, teacher 4. Wala ring master teacher 5. Never in the history, wala yan. Pero this time, we have created all these new items. New positions. okay, that you can only see here in the expanded career progression. There are two career lines here. We have the teaching career line, okay, and then we have the school administrator career line. That is the reason why, honestly, if we want to get promoted, we will pass the principal's test kasi we know that the principal level has higher salary, and it is a bridge for us to become supervisor, which is salary grade 22. So think about this. Ngayon, even if mag-teacher ka, you can reach salary grade 22. You know, salary grade 22 is equal to the salary of the supervisor. I think 89,000, magkano yan? So, tingnan niyo yung year 2026, they are receiving 81 or 82,000 per month. Okay? So, kahit master teacher ka, or nasa teacher career line ka, you will be entitled to the opportunity to reach salary grade 22. So, let's try to put ourselves in the situation before. Is that even possible before? So, maghihintay ka pa na merong supervisor na mawawala or mag-retire bago ka mapopromote. Okay, this time, you don't have to wait for vacancies or retirees. Hindi mo na dapat mag-pray ng masama para sa mga kasamahan natin just to get promoted. You can vice your own item. Your only enemy is yourself. As long as, let's say for example, let's imagine an ideal world na okay yung budget natin, walang corruption, walang flood control. So, okay yung buhay natin sa Pilipinas. Bibigyan tayo ng budget for ECP. Kahayas yung DepEd in terms of budget. Lahat nandun sa promotion. So, mabibigyan na tayo ng 1:1, one school, one principal. So, you pass the principal's test. Tapos na kayo sa masters nyo. And of course, yung experience, etc. Madali lang namang kunin yon, including the training. Imagine this, it has and we have more opportunity. Yung enemy lang talaga natin is ang ating sarili. If you don't finish your master's degree, yan, number 1 yan. Right now, it's very hard to focus talaga and to finish your master's degree. I remember ginagawa ko before when I wrote my dissertation, I have to force myself because there are a lot of distractions now. You will be tempted to watch YouTube, Reels. Mas mabuti pa mag-subscribe kayo sa Learning with Doc Lebs rather than watching the Reels. Kasi our topics there is all about being outstanding and getting promoted. Ito yung advocacy natin na we will be helping our teachers solve their problems, financial problems, by helping them get promoted. So, ngayon, mas marami ng opportunity. Imagine that, kahit teacher ka, you will be given the opportunity to reach salary grade 22. And there's no other enemy here. The only limitation, I think, is the budget. Number 2 is yourself, because you have to meet the minimum qualification standards. By the way, if you only meet the minimum qualification standards, like in the education, tapos ka na ng masters mo, and then yung experience mo, ganito, 5 years. Meeting the minimum qualifications qualifies you for the position. Yes, pwede ka nang mag-ranking. So, you can now proceed to the comparative assessment aspect, So, that is the point wherein we will be rating already the other aspects of your application. So dito na may points. So what is beyond the minimum qualification standards? Yun lang just to give you an idea. For example, masters yung sa principal 1. We only start giving points for those qualifications that you have exceeded. For example, yung requirement masteral, pero grabe ka, nag-doctoral ka talaga. Tapos finish mo pa yung doctoral, best dissertation ka pa. Although walang points yung best dissertation walang points yan. Okay? So, tapos mo yung doctoral mo. You went beyond the expectation. So, yun lang ika-count natin. The increment between the minimum qualifications and how you exceeded that is yun yung bibigyan natin ng points. In short, if you meet the minimum qualifications, graduate ka ng masteral, and you meet all the ones stated in DepEd Order 19, you will get 0 on your score. Okay? So that's the idea. We rate you based on how you exceeded the minimum qualification standards. Right? So ito yung mangyayari sa comparative assessment. Okay? Because ranking is also survival of the fittest. So, makikita natin sino yung pinaka-focus, pero yung yung appeal ko lang, huwag kayong humanap ng shortcuts, ha. There are a lot. We just heard, no. Some of the teachers are already going after scammers, no? Scammers na nagbibigay kuno ng masteral degree at doctorate degree without even going through the process. Okay, mahirap yung ganun. You will not be learning anything, plus mahirap ma-promote na wala tayong alam, no? So it's very hard to do a job which we don't even know and we are not even qualified to perform. Okay, we will only be a burden. So, enjoy the journey, your masteral journey. My master's, I finished it for 6 years. Imagine that, 6 years of my life just finishing my master's degree. As I've mentioned, this is already a great opportunity for all of us. Imagine greater opportunities for us to get promoted. Maraming option tayo. You can go, kung ayaw mo maging, alam naman natin, mahirap maging principal, di ba? If yung teacher, yun lang tinitingnan ng mga estudyante at nang nagbago sa'yo, alam nila. If you are the principal, ikaw lang ang laman ng chismis, di ba? Mahirap yun. So, kaya if you want, you just go for the teacher career track. You can bloom there. Salary grade 22, 80,000 plus per month. I think that is enough for you to have an abundant life siguro. Just enough, no? Not naman too much, but it is enough for us if we live a simple life. So yun, we have already 2 tracks here and both of them are equal, di ba? Na-notice niyo yan? Both of them salary grade 22. Okay, yung pinaka-highest. And attaches the teacher progression, promotion, and professional standards. Meron tayong PPST and PPSH as standards that we use. So if you notice, itong standards na to, di ba this is what we use, yung PPST, this is what we use in order to grade their performance, which is governed by DepEd Memorandum 89 Series of 2025, the multi-year guidelines now for 2025 onwards. Basically, there is alignment. If you try to remember before, yung promotion natin, parang it's a different thing when we get, yung performance natin, it's a different thing than promotion. Although it's only one aspect, but this one, yung PPST, it is a big aspect kasi yung COIS, yung Classroom Observable Indicators, yun yung i-demonstrate ng applicants for the teaching career line. And yung PPSH naman, ito yung standards na titingnan natin for the principals. What is the vision of career progression? So first is, ito yung sinabi ko kanina, reclassification as a primary means for promotion. Making promotion faster and self-paced. Pangalawa, create new positions in the classroom teaching career line. Meron na tayong teacher 4 to 6, 7, and then master teacher 5. These are new positions that were never present before. Okay, next is that we have to clarify and rationalize career paths for teachers. So teachers may choose alternative career paths. Kasi hindi naman lahat talaga will go for school administrator. Kasi mahirap dealing with people, di ba? Sometimes the position of the principal is quite complicated. Equally, they are bountifully compensated, no? Equal. Pwede ka mag-SG22 kapag nag-teacher ka, master teacher 5 target. So, pwede ka ring mag-principal, okay? If you like. To uphold teachers' quality standards through competency and merit-based promotion. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. The essence of promotion is always merit-based. We cannot just give the promotion to anyone. And the thing is, we have to make it and give it to the person who has the merit and the fitness. Pero sometimes we have to study. Let's look at the criteria by which you will be rated and then prepare yourself for it, okay? Because as for all of us that are listening now, I'm sure you want to become a principal someday. So, 'di ba, pinakita ko na yung DepEd Order 19. So target na 'yan. Lagay nyo everyday, finish my master's degree in educational leadership or management or etc. Okay? Target talaga, focus. Sino bang dito ang hindi pa nakatapos sa masteral nila? Pero that's not enough, no? So, tingnan nyo, you have to focus, masteral, doctoral, do not look for shortcuts. Anyway, the opportunity comes for those who are patient enough. Okay? Your time will come. So, you just have to advocate really time and effort. So, here, we have 884,790. 91% of the field teaching positions are occupied by teacher 1 to 3. Imagine that. So, 91% ng teachers natin are occupying teacher 1 to 3 lang. So, what will happen to us if we will have the career progression? Of course, some of them will become teacher 4, 5, 6. Right now, the results for the reclassification is about to be released, no? So, we will know exactly how many of us will be promoted So what will happen? Yung 1/3 of the teacher population are teacher 1. Imagine that's thirds, no? One third. 301,133. But still, no, we see a lot of, if you are in the management side, easy to understand the hatred of some of the teachers kasi matagal po silang naging teacher 1. Imagine this is 301,133. We cannot blame them for what they went through. If you notice in Facebook, there is a lot of hatred with some of them. No? They seem to be pessimistic about the expanded career progression. Siguro ilang years na sila naging teacher 1. Kailangan lang talaga nating i-explain yung ECP, and let's be positive and let's pray together na there will be better and higher allocation for this incoming year in the GAA. The Philippines, teacher promotion occur at an alarming slow rate, with the data indicating that it takes an average of 15 years to progress from teacher 1 to teacher 3. So, 15 years. If you remember, merong ERF. You have to be ready because the requirement for teacher 3 position is complete academic requirements. Yung CAR, na hindi naman dapat i-finish talaga. Pero, some of them who wouldn't want to finish their masteral or would prefer not to go to school. Pero honestly right now, kasi yung principle of merit and fitness nandun pa rin. So at least better opportunities, no? So the most critical threats to teacher motivation in the Philippines are increased workload and challenges. So siguro, hopefully, we have tried to lessen the workload, but still, no, mahirap pa rin because marami pa ring challenges. Few opportunities to career development, and clear and constant changes to institutional environment, and then we have few or no learning materials and facilities. Okay, so with the teachers aiming for career movement, opportunities for career progression should be made a viable option for teachers who want to focus on classroom teaching. So they can even reach salary grade 22 and provide additional career progression steps for teachers and master teachers upang ma-ensure yung high-performing, experienced and expert teachers are retained within the system. Okay, so I just can't imagine yung mga teachers, no, na ilang years na. Yung 301,133 na teacher 1 for a long, long time. And how they have sustained teaching for quite a long time kahit teacher 1 lang ang kanilang position for a very long time. Grabe yung passion nila. But honestly, if you're not promoted, di ba, it will cause a lot of discouragement. Kasi parang makikita natin na yung effort natin was not well compensated. Okay, this is really a good opportunity for them to now get promoted. Wala nang teacher 1 na magre-retire. So that's really the target here. On the EDCOM II Year 2 report, career progression, limited opportunities for career advancement force teachers to move into administrative roles. So dapat sila mag-shift to secure a higher pay rather than progressing through the classroom-based position. So honestly, do we need more or better principals, or do we also need better teachers? So I think the two career lines is a good opportunity to increase the level of quality of the teachers kasi they will be encouraged to really perform well in their demonstration, gagalingan nila ang pagtuturo, and they will be able to become well compensated SG22 if gagawin nila yon. And imagine, yung SG22 is a master teacher. He has to mentor other teachers too, at least 5 of them. He or she will be able to share his or her expertise to other teachers. There is a domino effect here if this will be realized.